All right, this is your lesson for project number 6, soap carving. So the objective for this project, it says students will create an original soap carving using the methods outlined in the lesson. Your soap carving can be animals, faces, flowers, etc., but it cannot be a bas relief. You're going to learn about what bas relief is in a few minutes, but just kind of quick reference, a bas relief is very low relief, kind of like think of a quarter as a bas relief, okay? So it's sticking up from the flat surface, making a design, but it just doesn't have enough depth, okay? It also must include some type of surface texture or design. So it can't just be a solid like, oh, I made this duck and the duck has no feathers. Okay, it's just solid and flat and nothing going on. If you look at the turtle example here, the shell design, the head design, the leg or like foot design, that would all be considered surface texture or design. Okay, so here's a couple examples. Turtle, a little tiki head, a whale, which I thought was really cute. And this little tree here is a little more relief style. But the fact that it sticks out and gives more depth off the flat surface, that is totally okay for this project. And if you look closely, the background is its surface design. So that works, okay? All right, notes and vocabulary. Relief sculpture is a sculpture that projects from a flat surface and can only be viewed from two sides. Sculpture in the round, sculpture that can be viewed from all sides and has a design going on all the sides. A bas relief is a sculpture that projects from a flat surface, but very minimally, like the design on a quarter. I was just saying it just doesn't have a lot of depth. It has very little depth. Carving is taking away from a solid surface to form a sculpture. It's also known as the subtractive form of sculpture. Tools that can be useful for this process. Okay, I've listed a bunch of household items that you could possibly use to do your soap carving. Okay, definitely going to need a butter knife. Definitely going to need toothpicks. I included toothpicks in your supply bag, so all you have to do is check the bag. I think it's in the little envelope. Okay. Butter knives, toothpicks, skewers, old mechanical pencils that don't have the lead in them anymore, nail file, cuticle pusher, sewing needle, X-Acto knife, paper clip, push pin, Cricut weeding tool, dental floss, pen cap, screwdriver, spoon, skinny wooden dowel that's sharpened on one end, chopsticks, flossers, plastic utensils, etc. Here are several photographs of what I was talking about. These items will work for this project. All right, to prepare for carving, choose a simple subject like an animal or an insect. Draw each side of the soap on a piece of paper represented in rectangles. So you'll have 6 rectangles all together. You'll have a top and a bottom. They'll be your largest rectangles, okay? You'll have 2 long sides. Those will be the sides of your soap in long rectangles. And then 2 of the shortest sides will be the smaller rectangles. Plan what your animal will look like from each side as shown below. So this is a really good diagram of this is the bottom, this is the top, this is one short side, the other short side, so back and front. And then this is what it would look like on the long side, okay? All right, so once you've got that, then what you can do is you can go down to where it says carve a soap turtle. This goes through actually step by step, and I thought it was a really good example of taking that turtle design and then putting that into what does that look like in terms of creating the sculpture, okay? So you would start out by drawing out your pattern on, or tracing your soap on a piece of paper, and drawing out the pattern of what you're going to make, the basic shape of the object. Then you would cut that out, lay that on top of your soap and trace it with a pencil, okay? Then start carving large chunks away, but you do that slowly, okay, so you don't break it. Once you've got the basic overall shape, then you're going to trace all the sidelines on so that you know, like, okay, well, where is this going to be rounded? Where are the eyes going to go? Where are the legs going to go? Whatever. Then you start carving smaller areas around them, okay, to make them look more three-dimensional. Then you can use a sponge or a damp washcloth to smooth your sculpture to make it look just a little neater. And anything that may have fallen off at this point, you can reattach by using a piece of toothpick just to kind of reattach it. All right. Supplies that you'll need for this project: soap, which is in your supply bag, a pencil, a butter knife, sponge or washcloth, other tools that I put on that list, piece of copy paper, something to put down on your work surface to keep your surface clean. So like newspaper or a bag to cover the work surface, toothpicks, which I said are in your supply bag, and scissors. Okay. Step-by-step instructions are: number one, prepare your design for carving as it shows above. Draw your finished sculpture from each side so that you know what you'll be working with on each angle. Trace your soap onto a piece of paper, draw the basic shape of what your carving will be, and cut it out. Trace it onto the soap as best you can with a pencil. Now, I know the soap that you were given is a little curved, so just do the best you can. Using the butter knife, carve small sections out at a time to reveal your basic shape. If a piece breaks off, you can always reattach it later, just don't lose it. Draw on the remaining sides of the design as a guide. Begin using smaller tools to shape areas into rounder forms. Number 7, add your texture design onto the finished product. Number 8, use a damp sponge or washcloth to smooth shape edges and rough spots. Number 9, if an item fell off in the process, reattach by adding a chunk of toothpick to the main piece, then add the broken piece to it. Fill out a critique sheet when you're done. I'm grading you on the following: your design idea is 10 points, execution of this design idea is 20 points, surface texture or detail is 20 points, sculpture in the round or relief is 20 points. Craftsmanship 10 points, creativity 10 points, and critique 10 points as always. Submitting your work. Number 1, you're going to put your name on a small piece of paper, okay? You are going to fold that piece of paper like a little tent. What I mean by that is take your paper and fold it, making a little slip of paper like this to then sit down next to your project so that it actually stands up and I can see your name, okay? Place it next to your sculpture and then photograph your sculpture from 3 different sides. That means 3 different photos. Number 2, complete a critique sheet. You can use either Kami and then upload that. You can jot down your answers on a piece of copy paper and photograph it, or you can pull up a Google Doc and answer the questions on that. Last step is upload your photos and your critique sheet to project number 6 in Google Classroom. And that's it.